What's up, everybody? What's good? We got something special for y'all today. This is actually the first episode of Everyday Stories, where we do interviews and tell stories and talk about stories and all different types of everything. Being brought to you by the No Label Network. Uh, Today we got a special guest. You know, somebody that, man, we like family. Like you could say that. You know what I mean? Like. Uh, it's my man Nathaniel Sean Graham
Thank you,
from Harlem.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a long time, man. What's good, kid?
thank you, No Label, for having me here. Um,
What's good?
Man, glad to be alive. Glad to be able to be here with Sean and Brian.
Right.
Known them since the '90s. It's like family. Um,
What I want, get rolling forward with the interview. I want to start by asking you, yo, where was you born at, man?
all right, I was born in Manhattan, New York, the Metropolitan Hospital.
Word.
Got transferred to Harlem Hospital the same night after my birth, for whatever reason,
Right.
for what I was told. I was born in 1978. Harlem Hospital was on 136 in Lenox. Now it's on 135th in Lenox.
Okay.
And people from that time, if you know, you know. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody know what street the original Harlem Hospital was on.
Right. All right. So he was born in Harlem Hospital. I bet you a lot of dudes was born in Harlem Hospital from Harlem.
A lot.
A lot, right?
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet that, man. Shout out to Harlem, man, and Harlem people. I've always, I don't know if it's just coincidence or whatever. I've always gotten along with people from Harlem. Don't matter where I met them at, work or whatever. Always got along good with them.
Yeah. Um, all of them, I got a lot of stories for Harlem, man. A lot of stories for the borough of Manhattan.
What
A
was your
lot
childhood like, man?
childhood.
Yeah, what was your childhood
I
like,
was
man?
born January 24th, 1978. Um, wow.
Okay, for the
Um,
ages of five or whatever you could remember from
yeah,
the earliest you could remember,
yeah.
up until 8, 9, 10. Like, what was your life like? Like, what was your
For
childhood?
one is, I want to thank God for my memory. I got impeccable memory.
Right,
I actually can remember before I was 5.
right.
And I got a lot of family members that will tell you that I can.
And I believe you because I can remember when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
and I know your memory.
Yeah, and with that being said, I was born January 24th. At that time, you could leave out the hospital. Your mother could take when you're born, you can leave out the hospital in like a day or two.
Right.
From what I was told, we left out. My mother took me out the hospital in 2 days. On the 31st of January, or the 30th, I think it was the 30th or the 31st of January, my mother had me in a stroller in a tavern bar on West 72nd Street. This is all documented, what I'm about to say, so
Right,
everybody
right.
knows the truth. My mother had a brown paper bag in the stroller with me in it with $15,000 worth of heroin.
Wow.
My mother was going to make a sell for $15,000 worth of heroin to a person. At the time, the police was already in there and they was outside in plain clothes, so my mother couldn't tell. She didn't think none of it. It was my mother, my godmother Frida, may she rest in peace, and me. Just want to remind y'all I was born January 24th. This is either the 30th or the 31st of the same
So
month.
that's not too
I'm
long.
6 days or 7 days old.
Word.
Yeah,
You a little baby.
yeah. My mother got arrested.
Wow.
They let my godmother take me at the scene of the crime. My godmother took me down the block. At that time, my grandmother lived at 240 West 65th Street,
Okay.
between Amsterdam and Western Avenue. It's on the same block as Martin Luther King High School in LaGuardia. Actually, the building my grandmother lived in was on the same side as LaGuardia. A lot of famous people came out of LaGuardia High School. Jerry Seinfeld, Nicki Minaj, we could go on.
Right.
With that being said,
That's performing arts.
yes, exactly. LaGuardia Performing Arts. Lincoln Center, that whole area.
Yeah.
With that being said, my godmother took me to my grandmother's. My grandmother was really upset, but happy that nothing was wrong with me.
Right.
I was in the custody of my grandmother.
Thank God for your grandmother.
Yes. But what happened was my mother blew trial. And my mother got 8 1/3 to 25. And my mother had an appeal in. So in that time, my grandmother had custody of me. My grandmother already had 5 kids. Now she has my mother's 3. That's 8.
Wow.
At that time, anybody knows you either went to a family member or you went in the system. Foster home.
Right.
Stuff like that.
So it's sort of like how, even though your mother is still alive, she didn't die. It's sort of like how, kind of reminds me of like 50 Cent story. Like after his grandma died, he went to live with his grandmother.
Yes.
But there was also other kids and stuff in
yes,
the house.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I went through. My uncle was there. Both my uncles was there. My aunt was there, Patricia. My uncle Daryl. My uncle JR Jr. My cousin Kevin, who I'm 24 days older than. That's another thing that I skipped the story. My mother was pregnant with me January 24th, and before that, as we know. Her sister, my Aunt Patricia, was pregnant at the same time.
Wow.
And my other aunt, may she rest in peace, Priscilla. So my grandmother had 3 daughters pregnant, all at the same time. 2 gave birth in the month of January, and 1 gave birth in the month of February.
Wow.
There was a lot of people in the house. A lot of people.
Word.
A lot of people.
All right.
In the 3-bedroom, mind you.
Wow. So it was just like
about 10 of us.
Yeah. Somebody was sleeping with somebody.
Oh yeah, 3, 4 of us in the living room on the couch.
Facts.
The futon come out the couch, come out to the bed.
I've slept with my cousins.
Yes.
Many. I mean,
yes.
we didn't have to, live. Sometimes they kind of did live with us, here and there.
Yeah.
But I've slept with my cousins.
Yes.
One head up, fit this way, one head that way.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how it went.
That's the good old 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So once you with your grandmother and stuff, how was things there? Like,
it was beautiful.
Was your grandmother loving?
My grandmother's still alive. My grandmother is 90-something years old. I don't even know my grandmother's age.
God bless her.
I know she's 90-something.
Where is she?
She's in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
My grandmother is my everything. My grandmother, I love my grandmother more than I love myself. It's sad to say it, but I do.
Yeah. Grandmothers are special, man.
Yeah, I love my grandmother. I truly, truly do. With all my heart.
From what you were saying, it seems like she was sort of your savior.
Yeah, her and my grandfather.
It would probably been a little different if she wasn't around to intercept. I
don't even want to think about that because I don't know what my life would have been.
Hell yeah, it would have probably been different.
I more than likely would have went immediately to the system because I went to the system regardless.
Right.
So I probably would have.
So how did that happen?
Well, I was with my grandmother, and like I said, it was too many of us.
Right.
And my grandmother basically asked my mother, "It's a lot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
What should I do?" And for what I was told, my grandmother asked my mother, and my mother said, "Put the 2 youngest in the foster home until I get out."
Now, where was your mother? She was locked up?
My mother was in Albion Correctional Facility.
Okay.
Bedford Hills, Albion, both of them.
All right. So things got overwhelming for your grandmother.
Yes.
And They mom decided to, place y'all in foster care.
Yes.
What was that like? Like first going on, I know it was like, weird at first or whatever.
Well, we was with a Spanish family in the Bronx. Never forget it. Shout out to Minnie Rosado. We was at 1223 Elder Avenue in the Bronx. It was me and my sister. They were Spanish. They was Puerto Rican. They were strict, but I had love for them because they fed me.
Right.
Like when I say
Spanish people gonna feed you.
Yeah, they feed you.
They're gonna feed you.
I like to eat to this day, and they fed me. They fed me. From what I remember, my sister hated it though. My sister like no bit of it. I'm 5 years older than my sister.
Right.
When we used to behave bad and make us kneel on rice, hard rice.
Right.
I'll never forget that. That was a punishment out of this world. Cause trust me, it hurts.
Yeah, that's some.
After a while, it hurts.
That's some.
You have rice.
Some old Caribbean.
You got rice prints in your knees.
Hell yeah.
I'll never forget it. You remember the
start calling you Glenn Rice.
Yeah, you remember the box, the bottom part, the brown box that comes under the soda cans?
Yeah.
She used to fill that up with rice and make us kneel in it, me and my sister, when we did bad.
Damn.
I never forget that. And like I was saying, they used to feed us all type of stuff. They used to hit us too with belts. This one day I got tired of it. And I told the caseworker. I actually to this day regretted it. Because when I told the caseworker, they separated me and my sister.
Separated you and your sister.
And I told her to basically move me and my sister.
Yeah.
Not separate us.
Right, right.
And they separated me and my sister. And I didn't see my sister but one time that whole separation.
Wow.
And my mom's came home from prison.
Right.
My sister's father, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
I was told that was my biological father.
Right.
But as y'all see in this story, I don't want to go ahead. That wasn't.
Right.
But I equivalated him to, if that's a word, to him being my biological father as me eventually knowing my biological father.
That.
Yeah, equivalent. Pardon me.
No,
and rest in peace to Omar from 116th Street out of Harlem. Well known, ex-kingpin. Not making this up. This is federally documented in the streets known. This was my sister's biological father. My mother said that was my father. And he was in federal prison. So we used to go see him. My aunt used to take me. Take me and my sister. We used to go from the foster home on weekends to my grandmother's, and they used to take us up to see my father at that time, Omar, in Otisville, federal prison.
Right.
Mind you, I don't want nobody to get lost in this story that I'm telling about my life. My mother was incarcerated at the same exact time. So, with that being said, I always knew I was smart at a young age. I always knew, listen, my mother's in prison for drugs in state. My father's in prison. I thought it was my father, was in federal prison for drugs. I'm in the system now. It's the 80s, early 80s. As time go on, I'm still in the system. My mother comes home on an appeal bond. My sister's father put up $25,000 to get her appeal bond. My mother won her appeal and got a bond, and she got out. And when my mother got out, she immediately took my baby sister out of foster home, out of the foster system. My mother left me in there. I'm the middle.
How did that make you feel?
How did it make me feel? At that time, I was hurt and still am. Something I can't get over, but
were you happy that your sister got out?
I was definitely happy for my sister, right. But I just didn't understand.
Right, right.
Because I was told that when my mother get out, by my mother, when she get out, she was going to get us out of there.
Right.
And she left me in there. And when she left me in there, that started a journey of my life through the system. Runaways, I was running away. I was going in and out of different foster homes and different group homes and different psychiatric centers and throwing the medication in the nurse's face, and they would have to hold me down to stick a needle in my rear end. Pause. You know, it was a lot of crazy stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is movie worthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot more too. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know.
So wow. How old were you at this time?
Wow. I was born in 78. I was probably like
10?
No, way before that. I was like 4.
Wow.
I think I was like 4 or 5, yeah.
Damn.
Because I was only in a foster home for 2-3 years. And I went in a foster home in 80. I went in there. I went in the foster home in 78. Got out and went back in because my grandmother couldn't take care of us.
Right.
Then I went to the group home in 81, my first group home. Now, people don't know this. At that time, they had group homes for people and this is crazy to say this, but it's the truth. And you can look it up. They had group homes for people 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old.
Those babies, man.
Yes, but they had group homes for that age.
That's crazy.
They had foster homes definitely for that, and they had group homes too for that age. People can look it up. They don't have it no more. Now you have to go in at a certain age, but back then you could go in at least, I think it was like about 3. I think it was 3 or 4. Yeah.
So when did you finally get out of there?
Out of group homes?
Yeah. Like after your mother came home and got your sister out.
I was still.
How long after that?
I was still in the foster home. I went to the group homes after that.
Oh, for like a couple years after?
No. Besides weekends, majority of my life.
Wow.
Only time that I remember that I wasn't in the system was in 1988. 1988, I met my biological father.
Talk about that. Talk about how that came about, man.
Okay. My mother's home for years after that. I mean, before that. I'm always wanting to know about my biological dad.
Right.
And I'm asking questions.
Right.
And come to find out, years later, I was asking the right questions too. And I was asking the right people. Not just my mother, people in the street, my family, my moms.
This is after she told you that the guy
Omar was my father. Yes, this is afterwards.
Okay.
My mother comes clean and tells me, says she's gonna go and find him. My father's well known at home. My father,
yeah, we know that.
Raymond Paul. My father's from Cleveland, Ohio. My father came to Harlem at 16 years old to New York from Cleveland, Ohio, and only went back after that to visit. It's a true story that my father told me. My father has never, ever, and I know you probably might see this, Dad. I love you to death, but I got to tell the truth. My dad has never had a job. My dad is a career gambler. Well known throughout New York City and down south for gambling. Wherever the dice game is at, my dad is there.
Right.
And if he ain't there yet, he's on his way. I met my dad in 88. I was 10 years old. I met my dad in Bellevue Psych Ward in the gym at 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
I was roller skating in the gym. And the door opened up. It's a true story. And my dad walked in. I did not know that was my dad, but I knew as soon as I saw him, I said, that's my dad. And went right to him.
Wow.
He didn't ask for me to come to him. He didn't ask a counselor. I rode the skates over to him and I said, you're my dad. And he said, your name is Sean? And I said, yes. And he said, yeah, I am your dad.
Wow. How did that feel, man? Like
it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling, man. It's a feeling like I will never forget because the first time me meeting him in the physical form.
Right.
And in person, basically.
Right.
And,
right. And then you know, just interjected into your story. When you young, like I didn't grow up with my father. I knew who my father was, but that shit is important, man.
Very
like,
much.
That shit is important.
Very much, because I was bad. I was rebellious. I was very I was fighting. I was bad. Anybody that know me, and a lot of people know me, will tell you I was very, very bad in my teens. Very bad. Name it, I did it. I did it all.
Why were you? Why do you think you was bad? Like why do you think you had it? What is it? Just you just angry about stuff?
I was definitely angry, but rest in peace to my grandfather. He used to always say a line that stuck with me, and he used to say, "Ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He just need his parents."
Right.
And may he rest in peace. He died in 1998.
He's right.
And he was 1,000,000% right.
Yeah.
And that goes for every kid that's went through what I went through, or their mother's a drug addict, or their father's incarcerated. You need your parents. A son, a daughter needs both their parents.
Right. Have they
in that household.
Put you on any medication?
Yes.
And you see, that man, your grandfather knew what he was talking about when he said, ain't nothing wrong with that boy. Yes. That's what they try to do to kids when they can't grasp it. They just don't let them be a kid and morph into an adult. They want to give them medication.
And you know
that's the wrong thing to do.
At that time, the 80s, a lot of kids was on meds. Yeah. Millions throughout America.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands throughout New York alone. Yeah. At that time.
Of course.
And at that time, they used to confuse the parents. I'm going to tell you how. At that time, it was really no male in the household. He was either incarcerated, dead, or just a deadbeat.
Right.
So the mother, if she was incarcerated or she didn't have enough education, and with that being said, her hearing and knowing that her child is being bad in the street, it was easy to persuade her with, he just needs this. It's not going to do nothing to him. It's just going to calm him down. And that was a line that was used. Psychiatrists used to tell parents, it'll just calm their kid down. That's not what it all does. You got Thorazine. I used to take Thorazine.
Thorazine? What's that? What's Thorazine?
It's a psychotropic drug that I don't think you need to give to no human being.
Right.
Probably need to give it to an animal. Something like a bull.
What did it like? Slow you down?
Slow you down. Make you talk slurred, fat.
Yeah.
Make you eat till you just go to sleep. And it's sad.
One of my uncles was on some medication like that.
I was on another one called Ritalin. For everybody that's going to be watching this, doing research, they don't even make Ritalin no more.
Wow, they don't?
It's been discontinued for a very, very long time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah, so I wonder why they gave it to so many kids, including me, and then they discontinued it. Last time I checked, when they discontinue drugs that's legalized, something bad about it.
Yeah. The
side effect is not good. I don't want to get lost in my life story, so I met my dad in '88 at Bellevue Psychiatric Center Ward, in the gym. Went over to him, cried, hugged him.
Wow.
He asked me one thing: do you want to be here? No, I take that back. Do you like it here? And I said, no, Dad, I don't like it here. I want to go home. And at that time, I was under the presumption that you could go home right now. I did. My parents is here. Mother, father. I thought I could leave with them, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
My dad kept his word that same year.
Wow.
My dad did the ultimate. He took me for a weekend from my grandmother's and said right to my face, you ain't going back.
Right.
I was like, yeah, Dad, that's what I'm talking about. Don't take me back. I don't want to go back there. I hate it there. And my dad was like, not even like, because he still is to this day. My dad is like, I'm sorry to say like again. My dad is a person that he's for his family. If he got it, he's going to do it.
Right.
If my dad told me no, and every parent tells their son no.
Right.
But I could tell you he told me yes more than he told me no. From 88 to right now, my dad has told me yes more than no.
That's what's up.
Things that was told to me by my mother.
Uh-huh.
I don't like taking sides, but for some reason I believe my dad's side more.
Right.
It's more accurate and it's more believable.
Right.
Like he said, I never said I didn't have a son. I didn't want nothing to do with your mother.
Right.
And she kept you from me. So at that time I was young, I'm ripping and running. I didn't step up to my responsibilities.
Right.
And I'm wrong for that. But as soon as I got told that I have a son, I left the dice game and went right to the gym of a hospital.
Wow.
And my dad is right. He did that. And my dad kept his word. And my dad, he's like my hero in a way.
Right.
Him and my grandfather, may my grandfather rest in peace. They both my heroes.
Right. That's what's up, man. Shout out to your dad. And I'd like to take the pleasure to say that I know your dad. And I've known your dad since I was about 5 years old. You know what I mean? Your dad took me to my first NBA basketball game.
Took me to mines too.
Yeah.
Took me to mines too.
Your
Never
dad's
forget it.
always Uncle Raymond. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
man.
David check it.
Word.
GM of the Knicks. Never forget it.
One of the coolest dudes, yo. Your dad, your father, man.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Yes, he is.
He have you laughing too.
Yeah, he's a cool dad.
He have you laughing.
He is.
Yo, so okay. So why dad got me, and you know. So how's life, you know, after that? How's life now? After you got out, and
I'm living in a house, living in a big house in South Jamaica, Queens, on Lakewood in Liverpool. Never lived in a house in my life. I was living in a tenement building,
right,
and I loved it. I still love it. Going just looking at the house because I never lived in a house once again.
right,
And where I'm from, if you live in a house and you live in a building that has apartments, the house is greater. And to anybody, it should be greater.
right,
And it meant something to me. So I wanted to come out to South Jamaica, Queens more. I said, I don't want to be in Harlem. I don't want to be in Manhattan, even though I love it.
right,
So where I'm from, I want to be in South Jamaica, Queens more.
right.
So I'm out here living, and it's the 4th of July, 1988. And a guy sold my dad a brown paper bag full of fireworks.
Right.
10 years old, my dad told me I cannot play with the fireworks.
Right.
I stole the fireworks, went in the garage, in the car. The ones that just pop as soon as you light it, just boom, just the little skinny ones.
Yeah, the little.
Yeah. So I had a whole bunch of them. And I called myself rolling down the window and lighting it up in the car. I'm hearing my stepmother, Billy, yelling my name. But it was this one yell, one time, like the yell it shook me. And I heard her calling for me for about 2-3 minutes. But this one yell, it just made me jump. And I dropped the matches and dropped all the fireworks on the driver's seat floor. Driver's side on the floor. Not knowing the fireworks was lit.
Mm.
I thought the match went out.
Right.
It lit all the fireworks up, blew the car up, burned it down, burned down the garage.
And it blew it messed the car up too?
Destroyed the car.
Wow.
My dad had a 1987 Ford Taurus wagon.
Mm.
That car was a year old.
Wow.
I'll never forget it. It was a mistake. One big mistake that cost me. Just imagine the first time you moving out to your dad's house after meeting him.
Right.
And this is the example you show. Like,
and you didn't know.
I didn't know
that shit was lit.
Because
you was a little kid. You was a kid.
Obviously connected to the fireworks, and
yeah, you was a kid.
I went upstairs and Billy asked me where I was at, and I told her I was outside. She said, "No, you wasn't." I looked out the window. Stop lying to me. Where was you? And I'll never forget, I bust out crying and just told her, Billy, beat me, beat me. And she's like, what you talking about? And I just said, beat me. She said, Sean, what you have done? What are you talking about?
Right.
And she just hear mad people in the street, standing on the street
Right.
on Liverpool, looking at the garage, and she see the smoke. And she just said, oh my God, your father's going to kill you. Get out my way. And she ran down the stairs from the house. And I stood upstairs crying, hiding in the closet in the room. I don't know why I did that. Wasn't my room, wasn't my closet.
Right.
That made the situation worse. And she was blowing my dad's phone up. At that time, my dad used to go all over to gamble. So it was no telling where he was at. There was no telling.
How did she get in touch with him? Because back in those days,
Sky pager.
oh, the pager. Yeah,
Yeah, she 911 them. 911 was emergency on the Sky pager for anybody I don't know.
Right.
And she called him, and I'll never forget it. My dad came the next day before 12. And I'm talking about I didn't really get no rest because I was always getting out the bed, looking out the window.
Anxious. But you know, you had
it coming. And when my dad came, one day I remember looking out that window and my dad was just staring at the garage in disbelief with his car in there. I never forget that face. And he walked so smooth and so calm to the house. And I remember when he came upstairs, he just said, why did you burn down my garage? And he went looking for something. And at that time, I thought he was looking for a belt. But he wasn't looking for a belt. And I remember Billy trying to stop him, but he pushed Billy right out the way. He had a stitcher cord.
Oh, shit.
I was 10 years old. It's the worst beating I ever got in my life. When I say the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They say now belt the ass. My dad didn't just put belt the ass. My dad put a stitcher cord the ass for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes straight.
Damn.
Yes, he did. And then told me to pack all my stuff and took me back to my grandmother's and dropped me off.
Oh, man.
I'll never forget that.
I know you was like, damn, what happened? What happened?
I was more confused of the ass whooping because I knew why I got the ass whooping, but he went hard. Yeah. I was only 10 years old, man.
Yeah.
I was 10.
Right.
And my dad is from the Midwest, like I said earlier. My dad's from Cleveland, Ohio. And I don't know if anybody know anything about the South and the Midwest family, but those wasn't normal ass whoopings. It wasn't just normal.
Right.
It was very severe.
You know, yeah, I don't think, you know, you were warranted that, beating that way with you. I could understand, in a weird way, kind of understand a parent just being like, yo, what the hell, man? My car's gone, my garage is gone, you know? And he probably, most likely, after he beat you like that, didn't like it after a while. I could almost guarantee you that.
I know he didn't. I know he didn't. It was just how
I could almost guarantee you that.
How it went. He dropped me off, and all my relatives and siblings was in the lobby. And I remember everybody's face because they're my family. But my mom's wasn't there.
Right.
My mom's was not there. I'm talking about all of them was downstairs waiting for me. My aunt, my cousin, my uncle, my grandfather, my grandmother, my brother, my sister, but not my mother.
Where was your mother?
This was 1988. So I said to my grandmother, I said, where's my mom? She was like, don't worry about it. Everything's all right. Are you okay? And when they gave me a hug, I squinched because my back from the stitcher cord was tore up. Tore up that I had to go to the hospital. My mother was incarcerated. My mother went back in again for a whole nother drug case.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
So I found this out after I got beat for burning the garage and the car down, and I'm in back in Manhattan at my grandmother's crib, and my mother's locked up again.
Wow.
But the crazy part about this is my mother already been locked up at this time. My mother been locked up for like a year or two. So when this happened to me, my mother's on her way home.
Wow.
But I didn't know that. My mother was in a New York State prison that was on the West Side Highway that's closed now in Manhattan called Bayview.
Okay.
It was a New York State correctional facility. You had to be sentenced to go there. And you could literally see it off the West Side Highway on the uptown side.
Right.
Or the downtown side, you could see it. But you could see it better on the uptown side. And my mother was there when this happened. And she was on her way coming home within that year.
Wow. Okay. So that happens, and you back uptown. Now you're getting a little older. You're there. You're getting a little older. How long from that point, like, are you still in contact with your father sometimes? And you know what I mean?
At that moment, when that happened, I'm at my grandmother's. I'm there for a couple of days. If I'm correct, I think it was the weekend. And or it was early in the week, like Monday or Tuesday. But anyway, I know I was with my grandma for like 2 days. Grandmother said, "We going to get a physical for you." It's the only time that I know my grandmother lied to me in my life that I know of.
Right.
She said, "I'm taking you to the hospital to get a physical." My grandmother takes me to Metropolitan Hospital. I go in a room with a doctor. Next thing I know, when I come out, I'm a minute there. I'm in a psych ward. I swear, at Metropolitan Hospital. I'm 10 years old. I went back in the system. I just want to piggyback real quick. Remember I told y'all my father took me and said he ain't taking me back. So when I burned down the garage in the car, my father took me back to my grandmother's. My grandmother couldn't keep me. I was already awarded the system.
Right.
So she had to take me back to the system.
Right.
And the system had to find a spot for me. So the spot was the psychiatric ward in Metropolitan Hospital on 96th Street.
You 10 years old?
10 years old, man.
A kid?
A kid, man. 10 years old, man. That's what I'm saying. This don't stop, though. For another 8 years, I'm in the system.
Man.
Another 8 years. From 1988 to 95, I'm in the system. I get out in 95. From 95 to, no, from 88 to 94. I get out from 94 to 96. 96, I went back in the system for like 6 months. And then I was old enough to get out myself. And I signed myself out.
Sign yourself.
I wasn't even home a year. Everybody act like they so happy to see me. First thing they want to do is give me drugs. Gave me a couple $100.
Right.
Here, there, different people. Gave me drugs. 18 years old, man.
So you're 18 now. So is this where, have you been incarcerated?
Yeah, I was in DFY before that.
Okay.
I was in DFY before that. I was in a group home. And I don't want to say I was getting bullied because I really, really wasn't. But there was this one kid that I don't know what he thought. Like, I was just so angry. I ain't supposed to be here in my eyes. I don't want to be around you guys. I want to be with my family. And the guy stole my sneakers in the group home. And I'll never forget it. He went to sleep. And in the group home in the dorm, no, it wasn't a dorm apartment, it was a house, but you got different rooms. I could just open up the fire extinguisher box and grab the fire extinguisher out. All you gotta do is be strong enough. That's all you had to do. So I opened it one night. I knew he was asleep. I couldn't sleep. And I went over towards him. And at this time, I didn't know I could have killed him. He stole my sneakers. And like I said earlier, I was a wild boy. Like, I was down for anything when I was that age, when I was in my teenage years. Anything. And I bust him in his head. And I bust him in his face. And not knowing, I fractured his jaw, bust his tooth out, cracked another tooth, bust his lip. I got a serious assault charge. And I went into DFY for that.
Wow.
And I was in Spofford. I was in, what's that other one? Harlem Valley. For all y'all that don't know, the movie Sleepers. If you ever remember the movie Sleepers or look it up.
Right.
It's based off a bunch of kids from a neighborhood that killed a freight stand guy by mistake. But the only thing they wanted to do was just steal the food. And the guy chased them, and they wasn't strong enough. They was teenagers to hold it. And they went down the stairs in the subway in New York City and killed the guy.
Wow.
Make a long story short, that movie's based off of Harlem Valley. The plaque is up in Harlem Valley when you enter it. The movie Sleepers. Wow. Kevin Bacon, Ben Affleck, all of them is a movie. Very, very good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that movie, but I never got a chance to see it.
Yeah, they was getting abused in a DFY. And that's the DFY, Harlem Valley. It still exists to this day. It's in Walden, New York.
Wow. So wow, man, you incarceration, you dealing with that. I mean, how many times were you incarcerated?
Wow. To my teenage years, twice. As an adult, I done lost count. Not proud of it. I went through every institution America has. From foster home to psychiatric centers to Division for Youth, which is DFY, to city jails, to county jails, to state prison, to federal prison. All levels. Not proud of it, but it's a life experience.
Right.
And in this nation, there's no institution more higher than the federal institution. And I got sentenced to 60 months in a federal institution in 2015. Don't mean to go up that far, but just to let y'all know, to 5 years for drug conspiracy out of Westchester County, Peekskill, New York.
Okay. Just to touch on this quick, how was it like in cell? You done been to prison. You've actually been to prison. You've actually been upstate.
Yeah.
I've been to jail a couple times, and I've never been to prison.
It's nothing to glorify. It's hard.
Yeah.
I never knew New York was that big. And when I say that, I mean geographically.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was. And a lot of people's not going to admit that.
Right.
Yeah, I was scared. I went at 19.
Right.
I was sentenced to a 4.5 to 9 plus 6 months consecutive. The 6 months consecutive supposed to go on the back and make my bid a 4.5 to 9.5. But for some reason, it went on the front. So, mind you, my 4.5 turned into a 5. So I had a 5 to 9 for a drug case. I was 19 in Sing Sing Correctional Facility. I was scared. And I was confused because I was like, when does this stop for me? Been going through this all my life. And while these people go to get probation and get drug programs and, shot and all this, and, I never got none of this. I didn't even get offered it. First thing for me is shoot them upstate New York to prison. Not knowing that I'm in an underground prison. For y'all don't know, it doesn't exist no more, but it was reception for New York State. It's called Downstate. It's in Fishkill. Okay. Red Schoolhouse Road. Lots of people in New York know about it. If you get an A letter, you went through Downstate. and it's literally underground. I went through there 3 times, and all 3 times after that, I went to a max, all for drugs. So for all you people that don't think you go to a maximum facility prison for a non-violent offense, which is narcotics, yes, you can. I'm a living example.
Wow. Well, you live and you learn, man.
Yes.
How's the food in there? Like
in prison?
Yeah, how's the food?
Horrible.
Horrible.
Horrible. The best food that you get is what you buy, and that's horrible, but it's not what they serve. They got things that they serve that's edible, that's you're gonna go down there a couple of more times for, like the coffee cake, the breakfast pizza, the chili con con and cornbread. Okay. But for the most part, it's disgusting.
Right.
But I just named the glazed donuts. Pause. I named the meals that we're going for. If you've been in New York State prison, these meals, people go down to the mess hall to eat. And it's overall disgusting food. For my taste buds, I don't like it. But if you don't have commissary, you will be eating that.
Right. So, I want to touch on this briefly. Harlem. Now, I remember many years ago, man, you would tell me stories. We would just be talking, burning, sitting on front of my house.
That's right.
My mom's had a house over here on Lakewood, across the street from Billy.
Mm-hmm. Right across the street from me.
Yeah. And you used to tell me stories. Now, after you long gone, I hear these people telling these stories, and I'm like, yo, I didn't know this. This nigga Sean he was right. And it always be word for word what you say. What you told me,
yeah.
And this is, let me just put this on record. This is long before the internet was the way that it is now.
That's right.
You know, we got information either because we was there or, somebody we know was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how we, you know what I mean? But it was always, like, fascinating how this dude would tell me stories. And years later, I wouldn't see Sean for damn near a decade. In between that time, damn, Sean was right.
That's right.
Yo, Sean told me this long time ago.
Yes, I did.
I remember you telling me about Wolf and BMF, and this was long.
Talk about it.
Like a long time. This was before people even knew who they was or whatever.
Anthony, rest in peace too, man. I know him as Anthony. Right. Everybody else know him as Wolf. I know him as Anthony.
Yeah, I didn't know who the hell you was talking. Whoa, who's that? Such and such. You told me, yeah, such a Puffy, work with Puffy.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was in a group home in Baychester. If anybody know anything about the Bronx, Baychester is actually to this day is Jamaican down. It's the north part of the Bronx. It's the borderline before you hit Mount Vernon. It's a section in over there that's on the other side of the thruway that's called the Valley. Now, if anybody know anything about the Valley don't look bad. It's nothing but houses.
I heard of that, yo.
Yeah.
This is what, the Bronx or something?
Yes. It's the Valley. Yeah. And that's anybody know anybody about the Valley knows Wolf is from the Valley, may he rest in peace. Little Wolf, his little brother, may he rest in peace too, and Big Wolf, who happened to be Puff's bodyguard. And yes, I'm saying this on record. He did give Puff $300,000 to start a Babel. Yes, he did. He told me out of his own mouth. I was sitting in his Lexus LS 400. Wow. He used to mess with my sister. That's how I know him. My sister, I got a lot of sisters. I got a sister on my father's side, Ramona, precious, love you. And I got two sisters on my mother's side. My sister Helen and my sister Malika, who's 5 years younger than me, and Helen's 1 year. My sister Helen used to mess with him. So that's how I met Wolf. And when I met Wolf, he wasn't a bodyguard for Puff yet. He was a man with a pistol that rides around and rob people. That's what he did. He was on parole doing this. I know a lot of people will say, why Wolf will have you in the car with him? Once again, he messed with my sister.
Right.
I'm a likable dude. I'm Aquarius. I'm very sociable. And he's not, but he took liking to me. Anybody know Wolf? Wolf don't talk a lot. Very stern face. May he rest in peace. He was about everything he said, everything he lived. If they said he did it, more than likely he did it. I told my family Brian about him years ago, about him with Bad Boy, him with bodyguarding for Puff, who he was, what his name was.
Didn't know a lot of these people he was talking about. Didn't know.
Nobody really knew. They just knew of, oh, that's Puff bodyguard Wolf. You know, he got a street name. They didn't know that. You know, they didn't know that Puff gave him a house in Atlanta when he beat the case with him and Sean. It was Puff's house. He gave it to him. So everybody said he moved down to Atlanta. He did. Puff gave him $1 million check and $1 million house. He moved down there, and we all know the rest. He didn't run. He didn't owe nobody. He basically didn't want to go back to prison, and Puff upgraded his security. Anybody knows at that time, Wolf was a convicted felon. At that time, when Puff upgraded his security, he hired another convicted felon, which was Roger Barnes, but Wolf was already out the picture. And Wolf was content with taking $1 million check and $1 million house in Atlanta. May he rest in peace. But yeah, I was telling Brian about it in the 90s.
Yeah. It's just, you know, the stories is I could always say that about you. You know what I mean? Like, shit's always came to, you know, the same exact way you told me.
Yeah.
Same exact way you told me.
There's no social media at this time. You either had been there or you heard the story.
It wasn't.
And if it came to the magazine, nobody wanted to hear you because they already saw it in the magazine. So they know more than likely you saw it.
Right. So.
Or read it.
So, you know a lot of people in Harlem.
Yeah.
You know a lot of people that people know as, you know, could say somewhat celebrities or, you know, city dudes. You know them.
I don't really like to consider them celebrities, though, you know, because I know these people before they were celebrities. Like,
Right.
Like, shout out to my man Herb McGruff. I knew him before he signed with Heavy D and Uptown Records. I knew Cameron when he was dribbling a basketball.
Right.
When he was KFC, Killer fucking Cam. I knew him before he was KFC.
Right.
For everybody who want to know, he couldn't use the KFC because it was branded, copywritten by KFC.
Yeah.
But that was his original rapping name. KFC, Killer fucking Cam. I knew Mace and I know more than likely he go see this, he go be like, this big head guy's bringing this up. But I knew Mace when he came from Jacksonville, man. When he was fresh in Harlem, when he didn't know nothing about Harlem. He was just outside. His brother Anthony, his brother Michael, like his twin sister that's not even his twin, but they do look alike. Baby Stace.
Right.
You know, rest in peace, Big L. This is my neighborhood. This is where I come
Mace
from.
still got a twin sister.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, man. You know, some people I don't even want to mention right now, but I know a lot of people, man, and I knew a lot of people before they hit the spotlight. And I just want to say, man, it was an experience. Good thing knowing them. They don't owe me nothing. Some I have bad stories on. Some I have great stories on.
Right.
Some took me on tour. Some lied to me and said they was going to take me on tour and never went. You know? Some put me in videos. Some said he was gonna put me in videos and never put me in.
That's one thing about y'all Harlem dudes. Y'all know, basically know each other in Harlem. You know, for the
Yeah,
most
this new
part.
Harlem. I'm trying to get with it, but I'm from the old Harlem, man. I'm from when the rappers was right there in your face and they was in the cookouts, and I'm talking all day, all night.
Quick story. I wasn't too familiar with Harlem. I had a female who I used to, she was like a good friend of mine. Still is. I haven't talked to her in some years, but I love her dearly.
Yeah,
And I used to go fuck with her. She lived on 136 in Lennox or 7th, around there.
yeah.
And I'm trying to go spend the night at our house. I'll go and leave in the morning, man. And I left her house one morning. It had to be about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I never seen this in my life in no borough. I'm from Brooklyn all day, every day. Been living in Queens since 95. But I've never, and this time that I experienced this, I was living in Queens. I never seen. I left out of that girl's house at 3 a.m. and it was like it was 12 p.m. in Harlem, yo.
Yeah.
Nobody, you ain't gotta be scared of everybody out there. I never seen no shit like that, yo. Like I'm like, yo,
like it was like the summer stuff.
Yeah, that shit was a certain feeling, yo. So when I see Harlem dudes, and you know what I mean, I didn't grow up in Harlem, but I can see how how they are, how they are. You know what I mean? I ain't never seen nothing like that.
And I want to say this, man, for all my Harlem dudes that's gonna, try to clown me. I love y'all. Yes, I am from Manhattan, but the reason why I say I'm from Harlem because when I was born, I was in Harlem like I was in Manhattan, and Harlem is in Manhattan. Right. So yeah, I am from Harlem because my roots is from birth is Manhattan, but I was in Harlem from in the stroller to right now in 2025 October. So I like to say I'm from Manhattan because Harlem is in the borough of Manhattan, but right. I'm from Manhattan.
Right.
Yes, I rep Harlem, but I'm from Manhattan. Money making Manhattan. Yes, I am.
It's Harlem Jr. right here. Your dad is Harlem. See you, yo. When I was a kid, your father drove my car to Harlem. I was with him. Every corner we stopped at.
It's like a paid in full movie, right?
He knew something.
What's up, right? Everybody.
I was like, damn, yo, I mean, you know the whole Harlem?
Yo? Look at my mother. On like, everybody, you know right? Let's talk about it.
Yo!
That's like that to this day. And my father is 79. And it's like that to this day, I swear. Yeah, we know
you wouldn't even think he was 79.
Sure wouldn't. Sure wouldn't.
You wouldn't even think he was.
My dad don't look 79. He's 79.
I remember G said, G was with me and your pops was at the store over here one day, and I said, yo, twice. I said, yo, that's my uncle, man. That's Sean's father. He was like, yo, man, that nigga had those young pants. He had on some young jeans. I said, yeah, he ain't the average.
It's the No Label Network. And I gotta say this on the No Label Network. And this is no cap. Y'all can do y'all research. My dad brought the dice game to New York City, beat the Deuce twice. If anybody knows, you know. Because that's a fact. My dad is known for that game. My dad was rolling that dice in the 70s and 80s and the 90s, beat the Deuce twice. That game was brought from Cleveland by Raymond Paul, a.k.a. Rockman.
When he say, I see you later, I gotta go to work.
That's a fact.
That's what he mean.
That's his line right there. I gotta go to work.
Gotta go to work. Yo.
Gotta go to work. And he'll answer the phone by a licensed company name, a cleaning company, but it be no cleaning company. I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you. You showed me things that I see in movies now that should have been in movies back then. His and hers cleaners. Cleaners, huh? And you think it's a cleaners, but it's a cleaning company. His and hers.
Wrapping it up. What is adulthood like now? Like,
Adulthood is I'm more to myself. I spend a lot of time with myself. I want to know me more because I learned that life is an experience for one. It's all it is. You live and you experience things as you're living, as it's going on until you die. I never took time to know Sean. I never took time to know what I don't like and what I like.
right,
And as I have my apartment for the last 3 years for the first time in New York City,
right,
I have my apartment in Westchester County, as people know that's going to see this quite a few times. But I've never had my own apartment in New York City, where I'm born and raised. And as I do, and as I be in my apartment, I take time with myself. And I learned that I'm my best person by myself. And I mean that in a way that so people can understand. I mean that in a way
I know
like
exactly what you mean.
when you by yourself, you got time to really know what you like, what bothers you. Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna go lay down. It was times when I was in the street, I know damn well I was tired. And I still stood in the street and pushed myself. And it wasn't a good thing. You need that rest. You need to get your skin clear. You need to have rest. Rest is like gas for a car. A car can't run without gas, and
Right.
your life will end without rest.
That's right.
It's a proven fact.
It'll sit you down.
It will sit you right down.
Yeah, you won't
And
even
when
know
you sit down, you're gonna go to sleep
right.
because you're tired. Your
Right.
body gives out.
Right.
And I say that
You won't even know when you go to sleep anywhere.
learn yourself, everybody. Learn yourself. Don't learn your dog. Don't learn your girl. Don't learn your moms. You come from your mother. Learn yourself. Know who you are. And from there, you're going to go on. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to move on the way you properly supposed to because you don't know yourself. So you're bound to fail at something because you don't know who you are.
Right.
No Label Network, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for the interview, man.
Anytime.
My man Nathaniel Sean Graham
Yes.
from Harlem.
Yes.
And this is the No Label Network, man.
Yes, it is.
Stay tuned for everyday stories.
Every day.
Southside.
We outside.